Hey, Lioness. Welcome to the Lioness Method podcast for female business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders who are passionate about growing their leadership skills, building amazing teams, and solving real life problems with a growth mindset. I'm your host, Nerrissa Hsu, Master Integrated Breakthrough Coach. And today we have the amazing pleasure of speaking with Colleen Brennan-Vandersteen from Manitoba, Canada. She is the CEO and founder of Save Our Planet Refillery, igniting igniting the wholesale refill revolution for everyday brand products. And she is selling SOP systems to global industries, which will remove packaging and increase their profits. Now, Colleen is a mother of two adult children. She is a lean architect with 35 years of technology experience with IBM, Air Canada, and she also won several IBM automation awards in her career. And she's also an amazing troubleshooter, innovator, concerned with and about the number 3 world problem, which is packaging waste, which is creating a global crisis, which led her to found Save Our Planet, or SLP Refillery, transforming distribution, creating new infrastructure with AI tech to remove packaging and enable wholesale refilling with everyday brand name products. To reuse efficiency reduces cost about 20% and waste 100%, which is amazing, and the mega million tons of carbon emissions annually. She sells to B2B SOP systems, to global industries, again, removing packaging and increasing their profits. So I'd like to give a warm welcome to Colleen. Welcome, Colleen.
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm super happy to be on this podcast. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, and all the way from Manitoba, from Canada. So I'm also Canadian, so it's always lovely to be able to converse halfway around the country here.
Yes, I agree. Nerrissa.
Fabulous.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Of course. Well, I would love to just dig right in because I am so curious about what you do, and I love the sustainability that your business is offering. So I'd love to ask you just what is a lean architect for those that are listening right now?
I think some people in business have heard the term lean or lean in manufacturing, and it is improving process efficiency levels to reduce time, costs, and waste. And so as a lean architect, in technology, they do it all the time. They're forever automating in order to reduce the time and costs, of course. They tend to go hand in hand when you reduce time waste. So so in IBM, lean was always a term. As a lean architect, I'm looking at our process efficiency levels for every day. We are failed. We are in crisis due to many failed processes. I became concerned about the recycle programs that I could see were not working efficiently. And so my story started when somebody gave me a tidbit. They said, Colleen, recycle's not working. I said, I just had my daughter, that's 23 years ago, and that tidbit hung with me. I went, not on my watch. We got to fix this. And, with young children, that's not going to happen. So we eventually moved out to the country, and our drinking water, the well water, didn't test well. I'd either have to boil it or whatever. So I found this 24/7 self-serve water refilling station. And after many years of going in there, I walked in this time and I went, wow, what a great business. It runs all by itself. I want one. Why do we stop at water? Why aren't we doing more? Because I remembered the tidbit of recycle not working. And so that just triggered a whole new vision for me. Because I've used the same containers for 17 years from this water refilling station, it's a great feeling to pay only for product and there's no waste. We need to take this forward, this reuse efficiency. And actually, in the olden days, that's what they used to do. The stores used to bring in bulk, and the customers would bring their own containers and refill. There was no packaging way back when. We're talking like 100 years ago, flour and all those things. This is the same concept, but now with automation and technology, we're going back to that. And it is great. It saves money big time. We are literally wasting around $3,000 a year for a family of 4 on packaging. And it's literally throwing money away. And I've saved all my packaging for the last 9 years. I live out in the country and I have a place to store it. It's huge. It will be the signage that I put my it'll be the signage post that's going to be, it's going to be clear glass. I'm going to pour it all in and go, there you go. Family of 4 over 8 years, 9 years, $28,000 worth of packaging.
Wow. That's amazing how much waste we create. And I bet most families don't even realize it. They don't realize the cost, the dollars, and then also just the bulk waste. Like because we throw it away and somebody comes and picks it up, I'm sure most people don't even think about how much trash they're actually generating as a family. And I love the concept of being able to just come in and purchase the goods and just use like glass jars or have your own packaging. So I know that kind of leads us to our next question, because you're alluding to, for a family of 4, that it's tons of trash. But what do you believe is the root cause of global waste?
The root cause to global waste is distribution. It's shelving. When you have shelving, you have to have packaging. So it was creating new infrastructure to remove the shelving and create a whole new system. And when I first started looking at it, I took this working model that I've been using. Okay, I can do this, this, and this. I've patented a high volume dispensing system with the least amount of resources. You can't go into business now, and I think the future is, unless it's sustainably designed. Everything must be for the betterment of the world. You cannot go into business knowing something's going to ruin the planet. It will catch up to you, and we will find out about it. So you might as well design everything for the betterment of the world. And that's how I see it. And so everyone is blaming packaging as the root evil to everything, to global waste. It's the thing you see, but it is not the root cause. The root cause is distribution. As a lean architect in troubleshooting, that's what you have to look for. And so it's solving that issue. So this is high volume dispensing with the least amount of resources. And every industry needs to reduce their waste, and we can do that. We can help them with that, and it will address their corporate credo, which is to reduce carbon footprint. Plus, it reduces operating costs by 20%, product costs by 20%, and of course, zero waste. So that you reduce your operating costs with waste frequency is reduced from daily to maybe weekly, and then maybe even longer.
Mm-hmm. And all the way around, it sounds like.
And all the way around. Yes. It's just all good. The current distribution model dictates what we buy. Mm-hmm. Whatever's on the shelf is all you can choose. So with this model, it creates a whole new consumer purchase power. Your desired style and size container. So whatever volume you want. I mean, if I buy Dove soap, let's just say Dove soap, I get eczema, so I love Dove. And I have to go in there and pay like $7. And I'm looking at it going, I don't like the packaging. I don't want the volume. I want double. I got to buy 2. So I'm paying $14 for hand soap. And I'm going, it's ridiculous. I'm sure the products may be $1. Mm-hmm. It's all packaging. It's all profit hidden in the packaging. It's time to leave that whole status quo and make change. This world is in crisis. We need lean disruption, really, to supply chain.
And what you're proposing sounds revolutionary, because I mean, we have a whole society built around branding, and they're selling us that $1 soap, but there's also marketing and creative and an advertising budget, and as you know, and the packaging is also part of the advertising, right? So what you're suggesting is definitely, I think, more sustainable, and I think that. Do you think that you would get some pushbacks from some of the product makers, because it would be, even though it's a sustainable solution, it does mean less profits for them at the end of the day, right?
I do believe There will be people that will be affected by this disruption, but it's for the betterment of the world, to be honest with you. We would be better than a label because we could run a commercial. We could run on the screens, we would run the commercial for the products they're buying. You could do anything. They could ask a question. We could answer it. Like we would email the ingredients if they want it on their phone, easier to read. Definitely, it just improves a lot of the concept. They can put a label on their containers. We'll provide the labels, but I think in the end, we will send kudos. Yeah, kudos for you for stepping up to save the planet. Because that's
Definitely.
save the planet. It's smart, sustainable savings economically and environmentally. It is a true triple bottom line with new habits.
No, I love that. And one of the things that just came to mind when you were describing this is, I don't know about where you're living, but here
Yes.
they took away our paper menus because of COVID. And so everywhere you go, they have a QR code that you scan.
Yes.
And it brings up the information that you need to order from the menu or see all the products. So I almost see like this concept that you're describing to be kind of similar. Like maybe it's just a QR code that they scan to get all of their product information. So they get a virtual label instead of, having a paper packaging that's just going to go into a landfill. I mean, I think we've all transitioned from like paper menus to online menus. So why not, transition out of solid packaging into virtual packaging, where you can look online and have that similar experience and see the contents of what you're buying and everything.
I completely agree. Besides, we have to stop killing trees and we need to keep them. So this whole packaging concept, and again, online shopping, everyone loves it, but it's not sustainable in any ways because of the packaging issues again. The convenience I get and understand. I'm not one for that, but I think when we restore retail as the most sustainable process, you will see more change again from that trend. I think that eventually the world is going to, I think we're calming down and resetting to our thought processes as to what we were doing. I think COVID was that kickstart of what we needed to slow down the mess that we were on fast pace to not doing right for the world. And it was time to, that kickstart definitely did wonders for anyone who's environmental. It pushed us all forward because it was what the visual came to everyone. When people can see the sky, because it's not cloudy or foggy or, air polluted, they saw the difference completely. And it was everyone just staying home to see the mess that we're creating. So the number one problem of the world is fossil fuel. And I believe if we all transition and do different things in that area to stop using them, we will be fine. I think the world will see change. And if I bring in and save the waste, we change energies, we change transportation, we change supply chain, we will see a radical difference in the world, and we will be fine. I think the world will heal, and we will continue on, and we will think better, far more in business development, and who needs to be operational, who doesn't. If you're destroying the world, my suggestion is don't bother.
And also, I think ultimately, I have a 6-year-old son, so I'm always thinking about what type of world are we leaving for the next generation? What type of resources, and so obviously what we're doing is not sustainable. And I love that you mentioned that. I mean, yes, during the pandemic, we saw an automatic, like even just shutting down China.
Yes.
Just for that brief amount of time, they were able to see, like you said, see the sky for the first time. And there's dolphins, and the wildlife started to come back, and the trees were growing, and the water cleared up just from us sitting still for like literally a month or two. So what an impact, humanity has on the planet and the earth. So I know that you were telling us a little bit about the Save Our Planet Refinery. So what stage in development are you in your project? In your
So,
company, rather.
as a lean architect going through many processes and stepping out of my bubble of tech to get into the business world and economic development and the governments and using them all for the first time, I can see why we're in trouble. They're not working. They're all failed. Finance and funding and the assessments in the capital markets is archaic, to be honest with you. And it is still old-fashioned in how you get capital. You search, it's a manual search. You try to find and strategically try to match up, but they all assess the same way. They assess everything as a trend. However, there are ventures like myself that we're not a trend. We're actually essential to the world actually surviving. So it's now essential. And they could not get past financials. It's not like they go. So critical thinking skills are absolutely essential now when a world is in crisis. And I see that as a skill that's not being used in finance or economic development or by the governments. They all claim they're about the environment, but on the other hand, they'll fund fossil fuels, or so you can see that there's issues. There's still issues that need to be resolved. So yeah, I have to say, as much as I hate the process, it's been trying to survive with failed processes has really been difficult for me. I can't tell you. I do shake my head many times and go, I have to get past this point. Mm-hmm. If I get past this point, I'll be okay. And that's how it's surviving, by people who step up to say, I see the value. And it's rare, but it happens. Like, even for yourself, thank you for recognizing the venture and what we're doing. I'm forever grateful to people that have stepped up, and especially those in family and friends and people I don't even know if that came to me and said, Colleen, we need to help you get going. And it was really great. I mean, it's been wonderful. Podcasts have been a great platform to get message across as well, that there are changes coming. There's still hope for everything. And there are ideas everywhere. I guarantee you, there's wind, there's solar, there's, the EV cars everything's changing. The batteries are improving. Everything's getting better. Mm-hmm. We will improve. It just needs step up by finance to get everything funded so we can see the growth and the changes coming. That's all I can say.
Yeah. So really, you're really looking for funding at this point. You're looking for people that could be angel investors or actual backers, financial backers, to get this off the ground.
Well, I can now announce, about a month ago, I got a call from somebody else who's in the environmental, who actually has been awarded EU green bonds at a fair amount. And so he's taking on projects to help him grow the money. And I'm one of them. So I'm very
fabulous. Grateful. Congratulations.
Yes. It was a great, I kept saying, are you joking? Full funding for my project? Are you joking? No, I'm not joking. I see the value. We need to get you up and operational, and ASAP. If you're reducing waste, we want to be in. Okay? On this, I don't think my feet touched the ground for a day. I was walking on air. It was good. It was very good. I have had quite the story. I want to do a movie, and it will be a movie that will be a combination of Aaron Brockovich finding the answers and the problems and creating something, and then social network, how the business community actually works. Mm-hmm. I want people to see what you're going through and where it's not working.
That's a great place to dive in a little bit deeper, because I'd love to know more about what challenges you needed to overcome in order to start this business. Like, where did this dream come from?
Well, it came from that vision of looking at things from the tidbit that I learned that recycle wasn't working. So just that I would say to people, when somebody says something to you that's kind of out of the ordinary, that you're not really believing, that tidbit just kind of hung. And I went and after when I started looking at the system, I went to the recycle. I phoned across Canada. I phoned across North America. What are you guys doing? Blah, blah, blah. There's a reason why we're seeing it in the oceans and in the landfills on grand scale. It's because it's not working. And that tidbit, I was like everyone else, believing things are working as they should. And they're not. So when people say, well, economic development isn't working, that's a tidbit that you're going to hang on to and go, well, it's not working. And why isn't it working? Yeah. So I think when people step up, when they hear something that says this isn't working, then, everyone makes their own decisions. I'm totally a lean researcher where I must have all my answers before I can go in. And most capital kept saying to me, well, consumers aren't going to change. I go, well, you know what? I'm not going to change consumers. I'm going to change business. That's how I'm going to make the change. Consumers will be retail convenient, and they can come in whenever they want.
Exactly. And I think you just said it. When you offer people different options, then they will be more apt to choose it and get used to it, especially when they see the value of what it is. And you're tackling such a big animal. Now, this is not a small thing. Yeah. So how do you get inspiration and maintain clarity for your vision?
I would just keep going. In the beginning, I had such a big vision, I couldn't even explain it. People would ask me, and it took me almost 2 years to kind of come up with something, because I was still researching, and when I'm not confident, because I didn't have all the answers, it took a long time it took minimum 3 years to actually create a business model and actually look, how can we change this? And it has to be hitting and solving not one problem, but many problems. And when you're solving many problems, you will be successful, I guarantee you, because the solving of a problem, not just global waste, but improving costs and reducing waste, reducing supply chain inefficiencies, and taking and making people feel better about everything that they're doing. Like I said, when I just fill my containers, I feel good. I'm only paying for the product and I have zero waste. I want people to feel good about things. I'm looking, like all these containers I have here, these are things that we would fill. These are my favorite containers. May I suggest everyone keep theirs?
Yes, I was wondering why you had containers right behind you, and now it makes sense.
Dish detergent. I love these containers because they have the handle, and you can refill smaller containers. Like for me, dish soap or whatever, hand soap. Oh my God, I'm gonna fill that. I'm gonna fill a 25-gallon pail with hand soap. I went through which are my biggest products. Hand soap, hand sanitizer. All those have picked up now, so we can sell those in bulk. And 5-gallon up, we can fill anything. So Save Our Planet Refillery will be the first 24/7 self-serve multi-car drive-in refilling station for cleaning products, personal hygiene products. We're marketing 4 revenue streams, selling product. We're promoting eco-organic. However, we're neutral to any product. We're starting with non-edible liquid, powder, granular, and small items, and moving to edible liquid, powder, granular.
Well, it sounds amazing. So you can get your everyday products that you need. And going back, I know that you mentioned that just because you said something really interesting, so I want to dive a little bit deeper in for the listener, is you said it takes about 2 to 3 years to even get your business model kind of together and to kind of find your voice as an entrepreneur, to be able to speak your vision in a way that people understand what your mission is, what you're really trying to accomplish, and also to pull out the confidence. So I love that when you said that. So can you tell us a little bit more about that process?
Again,
And what some of the things that worked for you to build that confidence in speaking about your vision and being able to convey what it is that you're trying to do in the world?
it took a long time to get that pitch, that 1 minute, tagline that
Mhm.
would
So
actually.
what are some tools that you use that were really helpful?
I was constantly attending business courses. If I had no meetings, I was going to courses, free courses. They had a lot of business courses, learning to speak, and that gave me practice, because every time you go to these business courses, you had to pitch. So that was my free opportunity to keep practicing my pitch. And there was always feedback. So that feedback was informative. And I was constantly, what didn't they get? What am I not saying? What, like, how am I not saying? And you're trying to get that concise message across what you're actually doing. It did take a long time, and the confidence was nowhere near where I barely wanted to speak. It was too big of a vision, and I had nothing to. Like, they're going, is it a kiosk? Like, they'd be saying, they'd be questioning me. What is it? Like, what is it? Oh, it was funny actually after a while, but and then when you're solving a big problem in finance, they have a number. They have a number that they're not going over, and I was well past that number, and it was learning that, like, there's so many things you have to learn, and it was learning that what they weren't looking at was the value I was bringing to the world. All they were concerned about is a number. And this is where I saw that it took a long time. I'm going, what are they looking like? What is it that is not getting? They get excited, but then they hear a number, and then it blows up, and you kind of go, are you kidding me? I'm solving a big problem. It's $1,000 billion problem on an annual basis. Waste industry is making $863 billion. The global retail reports 100 billion loss through theft and shrinkage. I'm solving that one. And then there's ocean cleanup. I'm solving big problems, and you're concerned about my little number? No. You guys have to change. Like, finance needs to change. They need to mature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the world's in crisis. That's a whole new strategy now.
Well, what you're talking about is we're speaking two different languages. I mean, the language of finance and the language of the doers, right? The visionaries is so, I mean, I think that is a whole conversation that's been happening for millennia, right? So there's always the numbers guy. So it is I think as an entrepreneur, trying to find that commonality where they can see that it's not just about the bottom line, right? Especially when we're talking about preserving humanity, preserving the earth for more generations. So
yes, and you have a 6-year-old, so you'll get even more concerned. Like the young ones that are there. It's just, they get 10, and then the kids are scared. They're hearing all this stuff, and they're upset. So to see something actually happening and changing, I guarantee you they get excited. They're happy. Again, they need to see change for the betterment of the world. And I think finance needs to realize that.
Most
So
definitely.
it's been that type of, it's been quite the journey, can I just say?
Yeah, it really is this entrepreneurial journey. And I love how you said that you weren't really prepared to do public speaking, which I think a lot of entrepreneurs, they have no idea. They just have this dream, or they have this calling in their heart, and they figure out what their purpose is, and then they're like, oh no, now I have to like get out in front of people and be vulnerable and speak, and be able to stand up and give presentations and understand marketing and the finances. And so it's a big undertaking to tackle.
Can I just tell you, I work for IBM from home. Like, working from home has been my thing for over 20 years. I didn't speak much. I was great at texting what I wanted to say. But when I first started, I had to go to Toastmasters to learn how to present again. It was hilarious because
Mm.
I would look at them and I didn't want to say anything. I'd rather text my.
Toastmasters is such a great resource. I mean,
I
it
know,
really
it was
pulls you
phenomenal.
out
It
of
was
your shell.
phenomenal. It brought out a lot of prepare your message, and it was very excellent for me.
I love that. That's a great tip. What are some books or speakers that have changed your life during this journey?
I would highly recommend the CEO of Patagonia. When I first heard him, who is a Canadian as well, from Montreal originally, and he told his story how he created, and he brought up some very interesting concepts when it comes to business. The fact that a lot of businesses go IPO or public, I think that's a huge mistake. And I will never go public. As long as I'm running this company, I don't need that many bosses. And I think it's the shareholder greed that creates issues within the businesses and the whole reason why we get into problems. So I will never be. Save Our Planet Refillery will always be a private company as long as I'm around. And I do have 3 phases to removing shelving in stores. This is phase 1 of 3. So there's a lot of innovation to come. And I hope people will be excited about the new changes and the new experience that you'll feel when you go into Save Our Planet Refillery, which will be a big sunroom refilling station. It'll be an interesting experience for everyone to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly a revolutionary idea, and I can't wait to see how it further develops. And now that you have funding, it's a very exciting time.
Yes.
So I want to be mindful of your time. I know we're coming up here on just over half an hour. So I want to ask you 2 more questions. And the next question is, what's the biggest challenge with your business right now that if it were solved, you'd be able to earn more money, have more time, or freedom for yourself personally?
The biggest challenge was just getting funding. I think nothing will ever surpass that one. It was the most frustrating time, the most challenging. How do you get past this point? How? It was always reaching out to people. Can you help me? Like it was constant. It is looking for funding is 98% time waste. 98%, 2% productive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest challenge. Funding for everyone, and they say 85% fail or 90% fail. I see why. They run out of time and they run out of money. That I get. I totally understand it. It needs a whole new streamlined process. I have a design. I have 4 major projects after this, by the way, and it's leaning out a lot of waste, whether it be over administration, lots of money waste, whatever it may be, and generating waste. I see it. There's many projects that come along through economic development and other things. So
That's amazing. What an opportunity to make a big difference in the world.
yeah, I'm getting older, and it better hurry up. That's all I can say. Just hurry up, guys.
Yeah. You're like, I am ready. I am ready.
I'm very ready.
Well,
I think I'll be like the elephant in the china shop. They get out of my way because it'll be
it's like, move out of the way. I'm ready.
ready.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, what's been your biggest win recently, personally? I know you already shared that you got funding for your for your company. What's another big win that you've had personally?
The big win is finding the right location that I feel will allow me to demonstrate the drive-in and the walk-in model in one key location. That'll be and the new building model that will come. We can adjust. I mean, it will market the 4 revenue streams. And I think the other is designing sustainably. Number 1, the franchising model. I have 6 US cities and I have 3 international cities. However, I've created a new one more on sustainable economics by selling countries' manufacturing franchise and allowing them to grow jobs and allowing them to keep it within their country and keep it local to minimize carbon emissions. It's a new concept. Nobody's doing it. I'm going to start it. I have numerous countries now looking at that, and I will gladly grow the jobs and let them go. Let them go grow it. Make it fast. They can't speed up fast enough. And the last one is just selling systems to SOP systems to industries such as airports, hospitals, military, universities, automotive, you name it, everything needs to change. And so we will be selling systems to all them. And then the last fourth revenue stream is selling systems encased in building models. If they want the building model, we can do it. And so that'll be the biggest win, getting going on all four revenue streams and transforming what we're doing now in the fastest pace we can.
Amazing. Well, I absolutely love this. Thank you for spending some time with us today to share your vision. And I can't wait to see the next phase. And how can people get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about your work? What's the best ways?
Yeah, I think the best way to get a hold of me is you can send a message through the website. I can post Save Our Planet Refillery.ca. It has information there for connecting. And I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Clubhouse, and I'm on Twitter. Definitely, we're all there. And through you.
Fabulous. And I will put all those links in the show notes below too. And thanks again for coming to spend this time with us and for sharing all of your knowledge about sustainability. And I want to thank the listener. Thank you for listening all the way through to this point. And also just to invite you, if you're listening, to come and attend the virtual breathwork circle that we have every Wednesday night. I will drop that link in the show notes as well. It's for leaders just like you that are holding up these large, heavy visions, and you need a place to just come and decompress, to download, to let go some of the stress. So again, you can find me at www.breathewithriss.com to sign up for our Wednesday night virtual circle at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is our show for today. Thank you again, Colleen, and I will see you again next time, guys, or listen or hear you again, speak with you.
It's a great opportunity to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Live in gratitude and be light.
Yes.